In this video we'll be looking at the new version of the maternity EPR and how you would use this in a neonate point of view. The first page that you will open up is the home screen of PowerChart. Coming across the top of the screen we have got our icons enabling us to navigate around the system. We do also have a search box in the top right hand corner. Underneath the search box there is a refresh button. It is important that you refresh the system as much as possible to get the most up-to-date information about your patients. You would do this by just selecting the refresh button and it will update. Coming down the left hand side there is a quick link through to your message centres that will show you if you do have any messages, if you've had any documents sent to you, and also any results will come through to here as well. To locate your patients on the maternity wards, you will be able to come up to the toolbar drop-down options. You would be able to move the maternity whiteboard onto this toolbar, but it will also be in here, and it is called BTHFT Maternity Whiteboard. Once we select this, it will take us through to our wards, and you can see we've got all of the different wards where our babies could be. I'm going to navigate to the labour ward and I will be able to find my patient. So there's my mum and the baby that has now been born. Coming across, you will be able to see additional information, so you'll be able to see their location, their age, their previous pregnancy history and their estimated gestational age. This will have this in weeks and days, and if there is a green tick it means that they have already delivered. We'll also be able to see any other relevant information. You'll also be able to see the delivery method, and for example this patient has delivered by emergency caesarean. Coming further across, there are additional communication symbols. The one that you will be wanting to look for is this blue star, which means that there is a neonate alert against this patient. Coming further across, to be able to access this patient's information, you will be able to double click on the blue arrow, and this will take us back to our patient's maternity view. Now this lady is already delivered, so if I just refresh my screen you will be able to see their now updated information, so you can see that their pregnancy overview says delivered, and we would be able to scroll through and see any additional detail. Now coming across the sections here, we have got tabs going across the top for the different stages of your lady's pregnancy, and sections coming down the left hand side is our menu. Once our patient has delivered, it will automatically create a related record towards our babies. To go to our related record, we would be able to select the drop down from the toolbar options and we will be able to go to the related records, and this will take us through to our babies. If there is more than one baby related to this mum, it will open it up here, giving us a list of the babies that we would be able to select. I'm just going to cross that box and go to my BTHFT newborn view, and this will open up our newborn's record, and you can see that we've got our detail. This is where we would be able to find any information that has been documented previously on our baby's record. Now at the moment it currently says that there's no information for our baby. Now this is because we haven't copied any of the delivery details across from mum's record as of yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into mum's record, so go back to the related records and back into mum. and back to the maternity summary page. Now at the top of the screen there is a results copy button, and from there we would be able to select the baby and the mum that we're wanting to copy the results across, press next, and it will bring us a list of any relevant information and the information that will come through. We would be able to press next at the bottom here. It will show us what it looks like, and we would be able to press the copy data button, and this will copy the data from mum's record over to baby's. So now when I go back to my baby's record, I will be able to see that additional data. There we go, so we can see our newborn overview, so our delivery summary, and any risks that have come through. In the newborn view, we would be able to use this very similar to the clinician's workflow that the doctors would have used previously. We would have our grey menu bar coming down the left hand side, and we would be able to move this about based on how we want to look at it. So it might be a case of that we want to view our baby's observations quite near the top, and I can just drag that to where I want it to be. Now if we're wanting to document any results, we would be able to go to the neonate weight and measurements section in the menu bar, and coming across we have got a drop down, and from there we can select newborn eye view, and this will take us through to the newborn section. You can see coming down the left hand side it's taken us to the newborn tabs, and we will be able to document any of our newborn information. So this is where we will be able to go in and document the vital signs and observations for our newborn baby. From here we would just be able to double click to start the assessment, and then we would be able to go through and fill out the details for the baby. You can press the enter button on your keyboard or the tab button, the same as Medway, to go through the individual sections. Some of them are free type boxes and some of them are optional, so we will be able to use the arrows on the keyboard to go up and down to select. We do have multiple choice sections in here as well, where you would be able to put in multiple answers. There are also some other assessments here on the left hand side. So we have got the routine assessment, where we would be able to put in any additional details. Now none of these sections are mandatory, they are all optional, and you would just be able to bypass the sections that are not relevant to yourself. So you would just be able to keep pressing the enter button until it came to a section that was relevant to you. With the assessments, you do need to make sure that you sign in the assessments, which will then save them to the patient's record. To do this, we would come up to the top of the screen and we will be able to press the green tick, which is the sign button. Once you have signed this, it will put that information on the right hand side in the column of the time that it was signed. It will automatically create a new column. Once you press sign, it will change the time to go with that new column as well. Coming down the navigation tabs here on the left hand side, we have also got a tab called Results Copy, and this will show you all of the information that has been copied from mum. So you would be able to select Results Copy from mother, and we would be able to see any of the results that have been copied across from mum's record. So you would be able to see all of those details in there. To go back to the main body of the record, we will be able to press this back button here on the left hand side. Once we press back, it will take me back to my screen. At the bottom of our menu bar, we do have some documentation section. We do have a newborn handover note, and this is called a dynamic document. What this will do is that it will pull all of the information that has been put into the baby's record already into one big document. So once I select this, it will bring through all of those details. Now you can go in and change any of the details if you do need to do so. Any of the sections where we haven't got any detail populated, such as this birth weight here, don't worry about crossing it or changing it. It will only save the information that has been populated. From there, we would always press the Sign and Submit button. This will save to our patient's record, whereas if we select the Sign button, it will save to our own login. If you want to send the document to another member of staff, we will be able to search for that other member of staff's name in here and select it, and once we press Sign at the bottom, this will send that documentation through to that member of staff. So I'm just going to press the Sign button, and that will now have saved that document. So I can go to the documentation section, and it is now there ready for me to view. Now, if our baby has multiple documents, or you want to look at mum's documents and see it all in one screen, we have got this button here called Enable Continuous Scrolling. If we select this, it will put all of the documents into one big document so you can scroll through and see all of those documents so that you're not crossing out of them and selecting them from the list again multiple times. Once we are discharging our baby, we would need to come to the Discharge Newborn section. And filling out this information will make sure that a discharge summary will go through to the GP practice. We would be able to scroll through this and make sure all of the information is as accurate as possible. If there's been any medications in here, we will be able to do the discharge process with the TTOs here in there. This looks exactly the same as the discharge of what we would have done normally. Scrolling down, we will be able to see any labs, diagnostics. We will be able to add any additional problems as well. And we've also got a clinical summary box and plan and requested actions where we will be able to free type any information that would be needed. The next section we've got is our key discharge information, and we will be able to select the key discharge details from the drop down. At this point, we will be able to put the discharge with consent and that they are going to their usual place of residence and the date and time that they have been discharged. We would also be able to put the discharging staff member. And then I would be able to green tick that document. Now we also have a social and safeguarding section, which is once we've selected and made sure that from a social and safeguarding point of view we are ready for this baby to go home, we will be able to select the patient completing record button, and this will ask for our role and grade. My number and my telephone number, which would be the ward number, and again green tick. And the last section, once this discharge summary has been 100% completed, is a confirm final discharge from the hospital. What this will do at this point is complete this discharge and save all of the information that has been put in, and send this electronically through to our GP practice. So once we select this finalised discharge summary and the green tick, this will be sent off to the GP practice. This would only be completed once every single documentation had been finalised. That baby will now be able to discharge and will be discharged via capacity management like normal. That is the end of the training video. If you do have any additional questions, please ask.